I don't have it.
You need to reach behind and get your gavel.
Okay, I'm going to call the regular meeting of the, no, it's not a regular meeting. I'm going to call a meeting of the Budget Review Committee to order on June 12th, 2024 at 7:30 PM in the Aldermanic Chamber. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call, please.
Alderman Richard A. Dowd. Alderman at Large Michael B. O'Brien. Alderman at Large Lori Wilshire.
Here.
Alderman at Large Shoshana Kelly. Alderman John Sullivan.
Here.
Alderman Derek Tebow is here. Alderman Tim Senate.
Here.
And we also have in attendance Emily Marsucello, sorry if I messed that up, Emergency Management Director, William Mansfield, Radio Systems Manager, Kevin Rourke, Police Chief, Karen Smith, Business Manager, Steve Buxton, Fire Chief, Karen Conda, Business Manager, and many of our commissioners, if not all of them. So.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Yep.
The period for public comment. Does anyone wish to give public comment? Okay, moving right along. Communications.
There is none.
Unfinished business.
There is none.
New business resolutions.
There is none.
New business ordinances.
There is none.
Tabled in committee.
I'd like to make a motion to remove from the table R-24-057.
Motion is to remove the budget from the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried.
I also want to recognize Alderwoman at Large, Shoshana Kelly,
Okay, thank you.
at 7:32.
So tonight we have department reviews of emergency management, citywide communications, police and fire. We're gonna start with emergency management. So if you'd like to come up and present your budget. Bill?
If I may, I believe she was only required to submit something.
Okay,
in writing, so
Okay.
she's here to get us here.
that's fair. Thank you. Citywide communications. You couldn't submit the same paperwork?
8:30.
8:30.
Oh, we have a deadline again tonight?
So noted. The floor is yours, Mr. Mansfield.
Thank you. My name is Bill Mansfield. I'm the Radio Systems Manager for the City of Nashua. Just to give you a little background of the department and what we've been doing over the past year. The Communications Department consists of 3 employees with a total of 2.45 FTEs. These employees are responsible for maintaining the city's radio network that encompasses 5 different facilities, a microwave network that connects 5 different tower facilities, over 50 base stations, nearly 2,000 portable and mobile radios, as well as accessories assigned to every department within the city, as well as we are responsible for our own network of numerous servers, switches, routers, firewalls, and desktop computers. The department also maintains hundreds of different software packages and licenses for the radio system, and we've also taken on more with on the fire side of things. These licenses and software packages are in the infrastructure itself, dispatch consoles at police and fire. We're also responsible for maintaining the generators at the sites, backup battery power, HVAC units as well. We respond to infrastructure faults that may take hours or days to troubleshoot and repair. We assist the city departments with repairs and replacement of radio equipment. We maintain radio templates that are programmed to everybody's radio to keep up with the radio frequencies that are changing almost on a weekly basis to maintain interoperability with communications with other mutual aid partners. We uninstall radios from retired vehicles, reprogram and schedule installs into these new vehicles. We train personnel on the proper operation of the radio equipment. We manage upgrades of the radio equipment, the infrastructure, and ensure that we respond to calls for service 24/7, 365. Over this past year, we've maintained the radio system with 0 system downtime. Successfully implemented a radio infrastructure upgrade last year, which took approximately 1 month. Received, inventoried, and engraved, as well as programmed literally hundreds of times, and distributed 386 police and fire portable radios that were brand new and issued to all the firefighters and police officers. We worked very closely with City IT to implement a Wi-Fi network specifically for the radios so that they could be programmed over Wi-Fi at the fire facilities, as well as police IT, where we could program the radios over the police Wi-Fi there. We've trained over 400 police officers and fire personnel on the operation of these new radios. We implemented industry standard encryption in both police and fire to maintain secure communications. We've, with the assistance of City IT, the Traffic Department, City Engineering, we've also assisted with installing and providing training for the traffic light preemption project for the fire department. We've implemented new location services to enhance safety at the police department, redeployed old fire and police radios to non-public safety entities throughout the city, had their equipment that they had turned in. We responded to calls for service for all entities, trained and assisted other state and town jurisdictions with interoperability radio communications, and we still continue to work with the legal department to implement new cell tower contracts for the city. Currently, we are working with the fire department with testing and the implementation of hazmat headsets for radio communications. We're also working with the fire department and City IT with the installation and operation of fire station alerting throughout the city. Each firehouse will have a fire station alerting system. We're working with fire and City IT on the implementation of a new software package that is installed in all fire radios, which is called accountability software. Basically, this software is for safety. It enhances the time that it takes for firefighters to be roll called. That's one thing that it does. Evacuating the building and things like that. We're doing the testing. We did testing a couple weeks ago with the new fire recruits. We intend on doing testing all next week with the entire fire department as well. We work with the fire department on various software implementations and maintenance. Work with the fire marshal's office on to implement policies and procedures for the installation of bidirectional amplifiers to meet the National Fire Protection Association guidelines for in-building communications. This year, the department has submitted 3 capital improvement projects. One was for the replacement of the UPS systems at police and fire, which basically provide battery backup for the radio communications at those 2 facilities. One was for reimbursement of, refurbishment of the concrete facilities at each of the tower sites. And one was for a radio infrastructure upgrade that is set for several years down the road. The mayor has placed the UPS proposal in the capital improvements budget this year for this upcoming fiscal year. Goals for this coming year: purchase and install new DC power plants for the battery backup systems, implement new technology for the fire hazardous materials team, implement a policy of permitting processing of the bidirectional amplifiers, assisting in implementation and training of the new fire station alerting system, issue and train new fire personnel on all radio communications, continue to support the fire department with their improving their current mobile data solution, implementing the reused radios to train personnel. One batch of radios is going to the personnel. One of the batches of radios that we had taken in is going to be redistributed to all the personnel at the McCarthy Middle School to provide them with better communications in that facility once they move in. We also are going to be replacing the routers for the radio system to improve system security. And that's pretty much it for that. This year's budget, we've requested a 4% increase over last year. The major factor of the increases in this budget are all related or for the most part, are related to the maintenance contracts that we have. Is there anything specific that we want to go down on the particular budget items?
I will defer to the committee. Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mansfield, you mentioned software, the accountability software. Is that new software this fiscal year?
Yes,
Or
it
next
was,
fiscal year?
it came with the portable and mobile radio upgrade that we did
Okay,
over the past year. That was installed in the infrastructure of the radio system. It was also installed in every firefighter's radio. And like I had said, we started testing it and training with it 2 weeks ago with the new fire recruits.
okay. Just a follow-up, please?
Yes.
I don't see a line item here for software. Is that baked into just equipment maintenance and all that? Is it all one line item, or is there a call out for software? Because I didn't particularly see one.
So there is not one specifically for software. Most of we don't buy really any software unless it comes with some type of package. So,
Okay.
like I said, when we purchased the radios for the fire department, the licensing and the software was installed in that radio to make sure it worked. So that would have been, it wouldn't have been a separate line item, it would have been the price of the radio itself.
Okay.
So we don't go out and buy different types of software for the most part, so.
I understand. All right, great. That's it. Thanks.
Okay, anyone else, any questions? You're good? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time and your dedication to the city.
And you the same, thank you. Next, we have the police department.
Revenues are on page 110, appropriations on 112.
Chief,
Good
floor is
evening.
yours.
Thank you. Kevin Rourke, Chief of Police. In regards to preparing our FY 2025 budget, we received the guidelines from the mayor of 4%. We took these guidelines very seriously and took it into consideration when preparing our budget. Like I've said in years past, I'm only asking for needs, not wants. I think the new positions that we are asking for are very important to the agency moving forward to continue to be efficient. I'll break down the proposed budget of 4.8%. 3% of that are union-related contracts that have already been negotiated and signed. 1.48% of that is 6 new positions we're asking for. The first one is an assistant business manager that would be with Karen, and that's only a half-year salary. So we would put that position out in the fall, early winter, and hire them in January, so it'll be a half year for this budget. The next one is a custodian 2, which would be over at the training facility at 9 Riverside Drive, the new building. We have 4 right now, and, or 3. I'm gonna try and hire a 4th, and that wouldn't be sufficient to run Riverside Drive with only 4. The third one is a paralegal. We have 1 paralegal in legal right now, and I'll talk about, our last one is a full-time attorney, which we would hire only 3/4 of the year. That's another position. And why I bring up the new positions for legal is that up in Manchester, we have the same amount of arrests per year, and they have 9 attorneys. Right now, we have 3.5. Well, 2.5, trying to hire another one. So this would give us 4.5 attorneys, which is half of Manchester. Like I said, the paralegal would help out with the addition of body-worn cameras that has really put a burden on people in legal. So we think that is a very important position to have, the paralegal and the full-time attorney. Our next position we're asking for is the co-responder. As you all know, last year we got a grant from Public Health with Bobby Bagley It was a one-year grant. So this year I went to the mayor and we have to look to put it in our budget. That program, Leah, who we've worked with public health, has come over it now in our building. Is a very important position, we think, out in the field. So that's a position we added. And our last one is an IT systems administrator. We have 3 people in there right now. You know, our IT manager, Rakesh, has been very vital and important in the city, working with other departments. We're getting about 2,300 cyber attacks a day from Russia, China. So this position, we're also getting a new RMS system, records management system, installed in the building within the next year. So we think this is a vital position to add to our budget and add another position. As you know, everything that we do is technology, so it's an important position, and it will take the burden off Rocket and the other members. Again, I think I said it, the full-time attorney would be 3/4 of a year, so if we got approved in July, we'd put it out and hire them September 1st. The total cost for all 6 positions is $594,410. The last part of our budget is the operational account, that's about 0.32%. The cost of that upgrade is $85,000. We had a bunch of increases and decreases in the operational budget. And some of the increases we had to make was protective clothing, the vest, and uniforms. Right now, you get a pair of pants for about $190. Firearms and ammunition supplies have also gone up, as you know, with the inflation. And our other part is the automotive parts and supplies, just because of the inflation and the shortages, it's more expensive and tougher to get, so those prices have gone up. Our surplus, I'll just mention, for FY 2024 is just over $1 million, and that's unpaid salaries, pension, and benefits, and stuff that was on our wish list or wants would be adding to the training budget. If you don't know, each officer is, other than use of force training, that is a mandate. We're required to complete 8 hours of training each officer per year. The state just upped that to 24, so that's gonna be a burden on us to get them up and trained, so that would be one part I would have added. Another one is the OT budget. This year, we're 1.5 million over our budget that we had from last year, so that would be another part that I would add. Other than that, I think I covered everything. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Thank you, Chief. Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam President. So you guys know, I've said it before, that I'm a big proponent of the police force here. My grandfather was a National PD, my uncle was in Roxbury as a cop. So I'm always a strong supporter, so I support this budget. Couple questions I have. Do you think these added people that you put out here, do you think you'll be able to hire them? Because I know we've had problems just hiring people in general. Are you confident that you'll be able to fill those roles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then one other question I had, software. So this year we spent just under $86,000. It was budgeted for $86,000. You get a budget of 0 for next year, so we're not intending to have any software for this coming year?
Karen Smith, business manager. The account has been moved. The GASB 96 requires that anything that's a subscription has to be in the account called subscription for computer subscription. So we moved it from the computer maintenance to the subscription account. We also increased it. We're expecting, our IT department has asked us to put a 7% increase for all maintenance contracts, which are now subscription contracts. And we also have, as the chief mentioned, the CAD, the RMS, the records management system, is going to be part of that, partially funded through the capital project, and then the subscription part of it will be through our operating budget over the next 5 years. So the 86,000, we increased to 100,000. At the time, we didn't have the bid back, but that is coming in right in line with what we will be needing.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that, and you know, you guys do a great job. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's keeping our city one of the safest in the country. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you very much. Chief, you mentioned Just going back to your full-time employees, specifically on the IT side and IT security, I don't know if I heard you right. I thought you mentioned that you had 3 IT people in the department. I'm only counting 2. I see an IT manager and an IT programs admin and instructor. Do you have 3 or?
We have, yes, we have another one.
Okay. Are they called something different or?
Paul Duval.
I'll find it. Network administrator, network system administrator,
Oh, I see it. Okay, so I see network administrator and then systems administrator.
yes,
And then a few above that, I see IT manager.
IT manager, yeah.
And then IT programs admin and instructor.
yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for clearing that up. And one more follow-up, please.
Alderman Sullivan.
I think you had mentioned if I could have the amount of money that I needed for the OT. Could you just repeat that? I missed that.
This year, we are $1.5 million over.
You're 1.5 million over for overtime.
Yes,
Is that forced overtime?
some of it is.
Yeah. Do you have an idea?
We try to keep, I don't have the breakdown of that, but
Yeah.
it hasn't been, this year hasn't been too bad, but
Yeah.
we're coming into July here. So right now, we're currently down 19 officers. We're hiring 3 or 5 July 8th, and then another 3 right after that, certified in September.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So we have 8 coming,
Awesome.
hopefully more.
Keep it going.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Thank you, and thank you for coming and sharing your budget with us. I had questions around fuel. It actually has come down.
That's because of the hybrid cruisers.
Oh, great. So it's working out well for you?
Yes,
Awesome.
and they're
I
better.
saw your list and I wasn't sure, I didn't necessarily denote how you guys were gonna be replacing those. So that was what I was gonna
Yes,
ask.
yep.
Love that.
Anyone else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming this evening, and enjoy the game if that's where you're going.
What game?
What game?
What game? Yeah.
It's a game tonight?
I
think I was
faster than Bill Mansfield.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. I'll put that in the minutes.
Duly noted.
Fire is on page 116 for revenues, 117 for appropriations.
Chief, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Steve Buxton, Chief of Nashua Fire. This is Business Manager Karen Condi. We have Assistant Chief Adam Pouliot, Assistant Chief Mark Cooley, and then Chairman of the Board of Fire Commissioners, Kevin Burgess, and several other fire commissioners in attendance. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us this evening. I'd like to take a moment to thank my admin team at NFR for their efforts in building the budget. Business Manager Condi and Administrative Assistant Anne Marie Boucher are highly skilled and efficient at their jobs, and their efforts in managing and crafting the budget for us are very much appreciated. In FY '25, National Fire Rescue is projected to bring in a total revenue of approximately $470,000. We can continue to monitor our fee structure, and we'll work with our city partners to adjust the schedule as needed when it's deemed appropriate to do so. After engaging in the budget process, we have a proposed budget submitted to the mayor with an increase of 6.2%. A key aspect of National Fire Rescue's approach is the focus on adequate staffing. This allows us to respond quickly to incidents and prevent them from escalating into larger, more dangerous situations. This level of preparedness is essential in emergency services and is something National Fire Rescue takes very seriously, but of course it comes at a cost. The biggest driver of the increase in our salary lines is our obligations to our collective bargaining agreement and a few operational adjustments. On May 31st, you may have seen we graduated a class of 14 new recruits from our academy. We were able to achieve full staffing of our organization when they started working shift on June 2nd.
Congrats.
Thank you. Unfortunately, this will be short-lived. We expect our first opening to occur due to a retirement by the end of July. The recruitment and retention of members takes a significant amount of collaboration, commitment of resources, time, and of course, dollars. However, the investment does allow us to achieve full staffing, or very close to it, which is not common in public safety today. I cannot overstate how this is a collaborative effort that takes all of our effort from all of our stakeholders within NFR. Our FY25 goals are to continue addressing the master plan recommendations and assist in moving the organization forward. This includes we're about to kick off a building condition assessment study, secure some additional administrative staffing, implementation of the public safety radio accountability software, and begin planning and allocating resources to review the feasibility of a new station. We will continue to work to acquire new equipment and apparatus as defined in the SURF schedule, and FY25 has NFR replacing 7 staff vehicles at a cost of just under $365,000. The FY25 budget increases are as follows. Our wages and collective bargaining obligations, utility increases as dictated by administrative services, the purchasing manager, and energy manager. In the line for other expenses within our budget, the actual line is 68337. You'll see an increase of $105,000, bringing this line to a total of $125,000. The increase in this fund is to fund the hire of our new members, and it basically covers the costs associated with the hiring process, outfitting a member, and equipping the member to arrive the first day on our door when they begin the Recruit Academy. To date this year, for the 14 members I just mentioned, we spent $114,469. Another area we have increased in our budget is under professional and technical services. The increase in this line is $181,000. The reason for this increase is to cover the medical screening of our existing members. Through collaboration with IAFF 789, Administrative Services, and the Fire Administration, we have identified programs that will allow us to provide cancer screenings and wellness exams to our members. These exams are currently a collective bargaining obligation for our technical team members, but it only covers approximately 50% of our organization. The addition of these dollars will allow us to screen and provide exams to the entire organization. Current studies identify cancer as the most dangerous threat to firefighter health and safety today. Not only will these exams benefit members with an early identification of potential issues, but there is a theory in the work group that the city will eventually see a savings as issues will be identified much earlier on and at levels that are able to be managed in a more cost-efficient manner. Lastly, within the master plan, a recommendation was made to increase the administrative staff of National Fire Rescue to better support our services. We began by placing the second assistant chief in service in FY24 and continue this growth. We have requesting funding for a captain of emergency medical services and an additional administrative assistant. There's been a few adjustments to our proposed budget. The first is through the capital improvements program. We had requested $175,000 total for our deferred maintenance program. This was adjusted down to $50,000, which is where it has been for several years, and is not adequate to maintain our 8 facilities. The budget lines to maintain these facilities are consistently underfunded, and the deferred money is utilized to achieve what we need to through capital improvements and bridge the gap of shortfalls. However, that too is significantly underfunded at that 50,000 level. The second adjustment was there was a salary contingent of just under 100,000 placed within the salary and wages line, 51900, that was removed. This was intended to cover pay adjustments that are being proposed through the Board of Fire Commission for the chief officers of the Nashua Fire Rescue. These adjustments are intended to assist with the compression that has taken place within the compensation package for our executive officers. In closing, I would like to take a moment to thank the mayor and the Board of Aldermen for their continued support. Through the efforts of the mayor and others, we are slowly making progress to grow the organization in a calculated manner, while at the same time being certain the funding is placed appropriately for the needs of our community. I'd like to further thank the Board of Fire Commission and the Executive Board of IFF Local 789 for their collaboration to move Nashua Fire Rescue forward to serve our community. And most importantly, the men and women of Nashua Fire Rescue for their efforts every day to make our community safer and assist those within our community who are having the worst day imaginable. It takes a very special individual to enter a career of public service, and I would say that firefighters are some of the most unique of these public servants. This is not just because of their skill set, but because of their compassion and their desire to fix any issue that is presented to them. I thank you for your time and attention this evening, and we'd be more than willing to answer any questions that you may have for us.
Thank you so much. Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I just want to first shout out to Alderman O'Brien, who couldn't be here tonight, but obviously being a firefighter, he would love to be here to hear your budget, and I just hope he gets better soon and is back in the chamber very quickly. So you kind of took one of my questions at the end where I wanted to ask what was left out, and so the deferred maintenance is something I'm very concerned about, not only with the fire, but also with schools and with some of the other things in the city. I think we got to do a better job at figuring out a way to have some deferred maintenance that actually makes a difference and isn't just putting Band-Aids and patches on things. So I'm very excited about the cancer screenings. I think that's 100% an important thing. I have been on call as well as a firefighter, so I think that's incredibly important thing to add to this, and I think it's great that you guys are fully staffed. I don't really have any questions looking over this budget other than how do we get that deferred maintenance paid for. I'm excited about the study too, to see where we can fix and help some of these fire stations, and then obviously the future of perhaps another one. So thank you for all you guys do, and you also, as well as the police, make our city one of the safest, so I want to thank you guys for that as well.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Questions? Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you. Not really budget related, but sort of. Chief Buxton, we chatted a few times about the Class 1 distinction. Haven't chatted about that in a while. How's that going?
It's a work in progress. So all of these steps, as we grow our administration, gives us the bandwidth to better pay attention to that. And we're constantly have, just the other day I met with the Fire Marshal's office, who are proposing a program to better bring our inspection programs into compliance, so they occur more frequently, and that program alone would earn us 2 more points in our ISO rating, and I believe the last time we missed a Class 1 rating by like 2.5 points. So we're right there.
Excellent. Well, good luck for the next one.
Thank you.
Just a comment, just to hop on Alderman Tebow's coattails there. I think that, we talk about the results, and we talk about how Nashua's been named a safe city, and I think another metric that you should look at is the fact that you are fully staffed. People want to not only, it does take a special person to be a public servant. However, there's a lot of fire departments out there that they can join, and people choose to be part of an organization, a well-run organization, professional organization, one where they feel that they're going to be heard, that they're going to go places, they're going to be well paid, et cetera, et cetera. So I have to say that, you know, kudos to those people that raised their hand and became firefighters. But I would also say kudos to you and the entire team here for running a very professional organization, because you make people want to be on your team. And just wanted to say that. So well done. Nice job.
Thank you for that, and honestly, that's a collaborative effort. As you know, we negotiated a contract not that long ago, and they came to the table with a lot of ideas, and a lot of their ideas that they brought forward were based on retention and then drawing people into our organization from other places. So it is an all-around effort, and I appreciate all of it. Thank you very much.
Great job, everybody.
Alderman Senate.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a question that I think is probably just a housekeeping one, but I just wanted to get a little clarification on it. I'm looking at the equipment line, which was, you know, overall small change last year, but it's down to 0 this year. Is that just a matter of reclassification elsewhere within the budget?
Yes, we wrapped it, Karen Conde, business manager. We wrapped it into the last one in that section, miscellaneous equipment.
Okay. All right. Just quick follow-up. I wanted to just remark that I'm very excited to hear about the cancer screenings for the fire staff. That's something that we've seen in the past year. Obviously, is still a very prevalent issue with the firefighters with the passing of Lieutenant Wyman, and it's something very important to my family too. My none of my immediate family members, but my wife's grandfather was a fire captain here in the city of Nashua, and passed significantly younger than most people in his family tend to do from cancer-related issues that can't prove it, but likely came from a lifetime of service to the fire department. So thank you for all that you do, and thanks for the progress you're making to keep your folks safe.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Everyone said all the things I was going to say. Obviously, I was very excited to see that the cancer screenings got in here. I'd like to see a longer-term commitment to that. So I know that we have some other potential irons in the fire, but I would like to see that continue for you guys. It's really, really important. I also had the pleasure of meeting a couple of your new hires, and I was just blown away with their professionalism, and so grateful to hear that you are at full complement. I did have a question about that. So you had that line item. Is that just for those new recruits? And so that just is like a one-time, anytime someone comes on new, that's the cost that comes with it?
Yep, so a project, Steve Buxton, National Fire Chief, a project that we undertook probably 5 years ago was redesigning the way that we bring people into our organization. We kind of saw the current day issue coming at us, recruitment, retention-wise. So we kind of reinvented the way, and we started actually recruiting instead of hiring, and going out and finding people that we thought would be a good fit for our organization. But previous to that, you know, we had done a physical, and we just hired who we thought was best for the job. As you know, modern day age, behavioral health, there's a whole lot of things that go into it. The past 3 years, we actually send our hires for psychological evaluations to make sure that they're actually cut out for this type of work. Because you can have the best of intentions, but, you know, as the fire chief, we have to ask them to do some pretty inhumane things at some points in time and be exposed to stuff that really no human should. And we can't really prevent that, but we can put a really strong safety net underneath them. So we know they're a good fit for us. All these things come at a cost, along with their protective clothing, their uniform, which all those prices have risen dramatically. So the cost that you see in that line item is for us to hire and run our recruit school, and basically, I'll call it get them to their first day of school. So when they come through the door, from there on, that's in payroll, training, and other lines within the budget.
If I could follow up?
Yes.
Okay. Hypothetical, just because I'm not following.
Yep.
All 14 recruits come on, then you lose 20 people, and you have to rehire. Is there an additional amount that has to now come with those 20 new recruits?
Yeah, we would have to find that
And
in
you
the
have to
budget.
find it somewhere else. So you've
Yep.
only budgeted for the 14 that you have now.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get at. Thank you. And then you mentioned 2 items that were taken out of the budget. Can you just, you can send them by email, but you said something about somewhere around 100,000 for officer
Yep.
salaries? I didn't quite catch it all.
Yep, not a problem. So the chief officers of the organization, which there's 7 of us, are not in the labor unit. So there's been a compression. We are actually classified in the unaffiliated program within the city. So most of us are 25-plus year employees within the organization, and we're kind of like a square peg in a round hole over there in the unaffiliated program. And what has happened over time as we've negotiated contracts and compensation packages for the labor group is a compression factor continues to take place. They tried to reset this probably 20 years ago. They did, and then the policy went away, and it was quickly eroded. And so now, the three people you see sitting here in front of you basically take a pay hit to take a promotion to run the fire department. And, you know, I get it, we're salary employees, we're not eligible for overtime, but you're not talking about pocket change here. You're talking better than $20,000 to $30,000 a year that we're removing from our family's table. So at some point in time, those kind of dollars get kind of hard to sell at home. And succession planning within the organization, it's kind of hard to encourage people to continue to move ahead when they're giving up benefits that they are now enjoying.
I can follow up on that.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Thank you. How do other departments handle this? Are they unaffiliated or do they have some other structure?
It's kind of all over the place. Some of them are unaffiliated programs like we have here in the city of Nashua. Some of them have private contracts with their fire chief or their deputy chiefs. So it kind of runs a wide array of arrangements.
Thank you.
Alderman Tebow.
Thank you. That just leads me to a question. So how would you fix that, other than just saying, here's the money? Like, how would you, like, what kind of structure would fix that so that that didn't happen?
So we've done some research on this over the course of several years, and researched how they handle this over the police department here in the city of Nashua. And as you know, their budget set up and their commission set up is a little different than ours over here at the fire department, so they have some autonomy to be able to do certain things. The fire commission does not have that autonomy. So what they are currently working with legal on is to move a policy forward legislation-wise to the Board of Aldermen that would create a policy potentially within the unaffiliated handbook that would create pay gaps, percentages between the labor group and a deputy chief, which is the first promotion out of the labor group, and then gaps in between the deputy chief and the assistant chiefs, and then the assistant chiefs and the chief.
Great, thank you. That would be good.
Any further questions? Alderwoman Kelly.
I still have follow-on questions to that. So you said that the commission is currently working through that,
Correct.
and what's the progress like? Where are we with that?
I would defer to
If you can
Commissioner
share.
Burgess on that.
I know this is yeah.
Yes, Kevin Burgess, Chairman of the Fire Commission. So we have reviewed a plan that is essentially just what Chief Buxton stated. It's essentially percentage gaps between the different chiefs based on what is negotiated with the labor group. So with that, we're proposing that to our liaisons, to Alderman O'Brien, to present sometime in the very near future to the Alderman.
If I could follow up?
Yes.
Thank you. Was that prepared by a consultant?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll hold my questions. I know we have somewhere to be.
The
Thank you.
compression has been a problem, like you said, for many years, many years. So I'm glad to hear that you're at least putting something forward that we can look at and make some changes if we need to. Well, we do need to make some changes. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your support. It's very much appreciated.
You bet. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much for being here tonight and all the hard work you do every day. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And 16 minutes to game time, I think.
You got it.
Yeah.
Next on the agenda is public comment.
Oh, we gotta put that back on the table.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're
I
right.
thought we had one more tomorrow, do we?
What? We gotta put it back on the table.
That's it? I thought we had one
Yeah.
more.
I'd like to make a motion to table R-24-057.
Motion is to table the budget.
To
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the table is, the budget is back on the table. Public comment? No one here for public comment? General discussion? Seeing none?
Oh,
Oh, Alderman Sullivan.
I was just gonna comment, I think these departments are well-run and professional, all the way across the board, so it was a delight to have everything presented, and they get results. I mean, safe city in America, so can't argue with that.
You can't argue with that, that's right, that's right.
And I think I was almost late because of, there was an accident on Kinsley Street. You probably got the same.
That's what I was on, yeah.
Like-
I was like, okay.
How serendipitous to be late because of an
Police
accident.
officer was there.
Anyway,
You think the meeting's at 7, you get here early.
Yeah, I was here early.
I have two children.
Okay, remarks? No remarks? Alderman Tebow.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion is to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:16 PM. Thank you, everyone.
thank